What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with me. Thank y'all for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up to all of my friends and family? How are y'all doing today? Life is incredible. It is wonderful. It is awesome. I cannot say enough how appreciative I am of the chasers. Shout out to the bag chasers. Shout out to my community. Shout out to the people that hold me down. What up? Can y'all hear me good? I want to make sure that my audio is right. I want to make sure that my audio is right because I'm chilling. Y'all good? Can y'all hear the audio? We're gonna jump right into it. Sound is great. What up, V Nicole? What up, Sabrina? What up to all of my friends and family in the building? All right, cool. So now that we got everything together, last night's show was incredible. I had such a good time on the panel last night. Shout out to Mike That Dude. I appreciate you, Mike That Dude, on Cash App. Thank you, my friend. Bag Chasers in the building. I also want to give a shout out to Spencer Campbell. He said, I'm not built to be a police officer either. Facts, facts, facts. Let me also say that I apologize for ending the show early yesterday. I am a huge advocate for not letting your emotions control your decisions. And so I should have ended it a little bit more professionally. But you know how I get. I'm emotional. I ain't even gonna cap. I'm an emotional person. And so I've trained myself to make logical decisions and not react emotionally. But I had to react a little bit. It was a little bit out of pocket. So for those of y'all that were there, you get it. And if you wasn't there, it's nothing to see here. Same old, same old. What up to my friends? I see my dogs. Five Brown, Trail Mercy, Sabrina, everybody, Motor Wonder. ABJ's Wide, Strong, and Smooth, Williams Account Tax, Your Car, Desiree, Treese, Sco. What up, y'all? What up to all of my friends? Purple Haze in the building. I see y'all. I see y'all. Anton, top of the day to you, and I love the show. I love the show too. Manasseh, you ain't missed nothing. You didn't miss nothing. You didn't miss nothing. But see that, but I also want to say that people don't understand that you human too. Like you got stuff happening, you got stuff going on, and you human. Shout out to my dog, man. He plays PC. I appreciate you. So, I get up here and I go out into the streets and I do the things that I do on a regular basis. Um, and life continues. Life goes on. So we do the best that we can. We work with what we got and we got to get it popping. All right, Anton, I just stopped an hour and a half
into last night's show. Molly and Slimmy chemistry is fire. Ain't it funny how people will say, oh man, you need to remove Molly when y'all don't like Molly, or you say you need to remove Slim when y'all not feeling Slim, or whatever, so on and so forth. And then y'all don't understand the vision. Y'all don't understand that these people are incredible. They are absolutely incredible. I love this hotel room too, by the way. It's pretty dope. Anyways, shout out to y'all. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the show because I got some business to take care of. I guess we can start with the Nancy Guthrie thing. And I'll read super chats and cash apps throughout the show. Let me say this before I also get into the show, that I know what my superpower is. When I went to sleep last night and I had a conversation with God, usually I talk to God in the morning, but I had a conversation with God last night. And it may not sound like a superpower to y'all, but it's real. Like, my superpower is working. I am in the best, greatest space ever when I'm hustling. I don't know what that is. I don't know how that plays out. I don't know why that's a thing, but I'm just a worker, man. Like, I am a hustler. When I work, I am in the zone. That solves all problems. All of this other shit is extra. But for whatever reason, I'm a hustler. I was talking to one of my room 9 people yesterday, and they were saying, I thought you was going to possibly cancel the show. Why would I ever do that? Why would I ever do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's say, for example, somebody died or it was a life event or something like that. You know what gets me best? Like, it's not sitting around wallowing and all of that stuff. It's when I get back to work. Working is it for me. That is what I love to do. I'm just good at it. And so, that's what I do. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to do what I do. And I'm going to completely block out the bullshit. I'm going to continue to focus 100% on exactly what we're building. I can't let people distract me. I can't get away from the thing that I'm great at. I got to focus 100% of my energy on forward and up. I can't get distracted from the left or the right. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to say what I'm going to say, but you leave that to all of the other people to react to, and you just continue to focus, and you be proactive in what you got taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do. We're not even gonna entertain the bullshit no more. We just gonna go ahead and just take care of business. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Let's get to it.
Joining us on a busy Tuesday night and all day, a wait for good news that has not come in the search for the mother of Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie. Nancy Guthrie, 84, has been missing since the overnight hours Saturday into Sunday, abducted from her home in Arizona, according to the Pima County Sheriff's Office. The new details tonight, including blood at the house, as the authorities say they have no suspect. But what they do have, the sheriff told our Jonathan Vigliotti just moments ago, is a ransom note. Jonathan, that would be a huge development. Good evening to you.
And good evening to you. A huge development indeed. The sheriff telling me they first received that note late last night. We at CBS News have not reviewed it, but we are told it asks for a large sum of money. The FBI has been analyzing it ever since. They're taking it seriously enough at this hour that they even showed it to the Guthrie family.
Tonight, the Pima County Sheriff tells CBS News they have shared the ransom note with Savannah Guthrie and her family.
Is there anything in that note that seems credible at this moment that you're giving weight to?
The entire note. That's what I would tell you.
The entire note.
When the note comes to us, we look, it's like any piece of evidence. You give it to us. You give us a lead. We're going to look at every aspect of that lead and work it as a lead.
So you're not dismissing this note at this
Absolutely
point.
not.
It is potentially
Absolutely not.
credible.
The sheriff says the note contained details about what 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was wearing the night of the crime. The sheriff would not confirm its authenticity. It was initially sent to a local television station in Tucson, who forwarded it to authorities.
That's the thing. I think it's Kay Cooper. Kay Cooper said, I heard that this ransom note is fake. Well, then how are they able to describe details of what she was wearing and how she was looking if the ransom note is fake? That's the thing. If they had that level of detail, because they forwarded it both to TMZ and they forwarded it to the news station, if they have that level of detail, my context clues and my profiling skills tell me that maybe it wasn't a fake note. Maybe it was actually a real thing.
The station agreed not to report on it, but today the website TMZ was also sent a copy and went public with some of the details.
You've been trying to contain this wildfire, and then TMZ comes out with this note that you have known about, that the Guthries have now seen, and it sounds like it could compromise this case to some degree.
It could. It could. I hope not.
The search has been on for nearly 3 days with no sign of Nancy, and so far, video from surveillance cameras on the property have not been helpful.
So it was on some kind of like 24-hour loop where it deleted?
It could have been a 4-hour loop. I don't know. I don't think there's any deletion, but I don't know that. It may be just taped over.
I see a lot of y'all saying it may be the son-in-law. I think that that's not fair. I don't know if that's fair. Because the one thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to destroy somebody in a court of public opinion without any evidence. Because let's say hypothetically that it's not the son-in-law, then we just ruined their reputation and we just destroyed them forever. So I don't want to just automatically, I want to be responsible with my assessment of this. Now, the one thing that I am assuming and that I think is, I do think that it's obviously somebody that knows her. It's got to be somebody that's close. The only logical conclusion that you can come to is that it's somebody that's close. And the reason that you got to come to the conclusion that it's somebody that's close is because who would think to kidnap an 84-year-old woman that just so happens to be a news anchor's mother? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's got to be somebody that knows you. Most of the time, I would say maybe 95 to 98% of the time, crimes that happen against people like this, anything that is intentional, anything that somebody knows you, anything that's kidnapping related and stuff like that, a lot of times, like if you see a ransom note or something, that's not random. That is very much personal. That is very much intentional. They know where she lived. They knew where to get her. They knew where to kidnap her. They knew where to grab her. And so it's somebody that's close to them. When I had this conversation with y'all the other day, and I said, y'all, whenever you see something that happens to you, and of course you're seeing a lot of hate watchers in the comments that were saying, oh man, no, I'm telling you the truth. Most of the time, the thing that's going to get to you the most, the thing that's going to hurt you the most, the thing that's going to be the most impactful for your life from a negative perspective, it's going to be from somebody that is close to you. And it don't have to be from a direct family member or something. It could be from a person that, a friend of a friend, or a friend of the family, or a friend that you knew, or somebody that, like, when you see people's true colors come out, how do you know the quality of a person? And this is a real conversation, right? We can vet, but people play the long game when it comes to trying to get what's in their best interest, right? A lot of people already have ulterior motives, and those ulterior motives don't have to be negative towards the person that they have the ulterior motive to, right? It don't have to be negative. Like, it could be in addition to. So you could rock with a person. Like, what is networking, right? Networking is getting to know a person, and you can genuinely like the person that you're getting to know, but it doesn't mean that you don't want to do business with them. But you may not introduce the fact that you want to do business with them, or you want to get put on, or you want more visibility, or you're trying to get money together. And so we call it networking, but in reality, what we really doing is getting closer to the people that we ultimately have an additional motive or an ulterior motive for. So some people get close to people with an ulterior motive. Genuinely, that's the only thing that they want. Other people get close to people because they genuinely like the person or they think that they cool, but it doesn't mean that they don't also want to get some value out of it. And so in those authentic situations, what happens is you look to add value while at the same time looking to extract value. It is an exchange, and that is a harmless thing. That is actually a good thing because us as creatures, we are social beings. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking to address an issue that is happening to your family. Often at times, it's going to happen from somebody that was looking to extract value with an ulterior motive. And the best way to evaluate somebody, unfortunately, this is one of the rare instances where you cannot be as proactive as you want to be because you may be able to sniff it out, but you may see it and you may ignore it because you want the best out of people. And so you automatically assume that, oh, no, they just cool. Oh, man, that's just a cool person. Oh, man, they just rocking with us or whatever. But in reality, even when people apologize, even when people try to get in your space, like what I've learned as I continue to get more visible and get more, you know what I'm saying, more motion and all of that stuff is I have to become even more careful. And it's funny because you'll see people and say, hey, man, let's have a conversation or whatever, so on and so forth. No, because I'm too valuable to be sitting here because I get nothing out of it, right? If I kick it with you, let's say, for example, let's say I have a smoke show, right? Let's say I have a smoke show and I allow for people to come up in order to confront me with the grievances or what their differences of opinions are. Then that means that it's a possibility they probably gonna clip it up. They probably gonna try to use it for their platform. They probably gonna try to get some visibility. Probably gonna clout chase. They're gonna probably do all of that, right? So in those instances, it's not that I can't destroy you or I can't beat you or I don't, you know what I'm saying? Any of that stuff is that I don't think you're valuable enough for me to waste my time with. And so that's why people get ignored versus other people get some kind of visibility because it's a lose-lose situation for the person that has the way more visibility than the other people. So you just let the pigs wallow in the mud in that instance, right? Because you understand that they have an ulterior motive and you have to be mindful and you can't react to everything that everybody says because they're not valuable enough to have a conversation with you. It's just the truth, right? This is what people have to start doing when it comes to vetting the people that's in their circle, right? I truly believe with this whole Nancy Guthrie situation, Savannah Guthrie situation, that they have had a mole or somebody that's a hanger on or somebody that's around them for a long time and they waited for the right time to strike. And that's what happened. I don't even let people bring new people around me. And man, who was that? Who was that? Who was that over there? You know them? Oh yeah, man, that's my person. Nope. That's how they got Nino Brown. You know what I'm saying? It's always somebody that bring in somebody that we don't know. And they come in and they mess up the motion. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be a lot more careful. I believe she was truly abducted, taken, held for ransom, shit, paid in full. Paid in full. It's just like paid in full, but it's the white version with the older people.
Today, our cameras captured what appears to be a small amount of blood outside the front door of Nancy Guthrie's home. And a law enforcement source tells CBS News that a little bit of blood was found inside the home. It's unclear whose blood, but authorities say it's being examined along with other clues.
You've taken her away from her home, her safest environment, and you've placed her at great jeopardy without giving her the meds that are critical to her. Again, like I say, could be fatal if she doesn't get those meds. So yes, I believe not only has she been, she's being harmed.
Y'all trying to appeal to people that you can't appeal to. You trying to negotiate with terrorists. You can't negotiate with terrorists, bro. You have to destroy them completely. Hey man, if she don't get her meds, she gonna die. Man, these is people that actually kidnap people and is holding them for ransom. You gotta know your enemy. You have to know the enemy. And if you don't know the enemy, you're gonna have to adapt to the enemy once you see them. Bro, I believe it's so bad out here, especially with social media and visibility, that people are going to have to take greater steps to insulate themselves, isolate themselves, and don't even give no visibility. Like you can't put nothing in your name no more. Like everything got to be in a trust, everything got to be in a business name, everything got to be, it's got to be different because you can't trust nobody, bro. You cannot trust anybody. You can't trust nobody. People would keep asking me, why you walk around with a bodyguard? Why do you always have security? Are you dumb or are you stupid? Or are you just so poor and nobody checking for you so much so to where you don't, you could walk anywhere and nobody would even notice that you walked in the room? Do you not just see this 84-year-old woman getting kidnapped? Are you dumb? But you can't. Why argue with a fool? Why get into the pig pen in the mud? Because I've been carjacked before and I never gonna get set up again. You know what I'm saying? You're because you dumb. Because I know that people that become targets are the ones that are the most vulnerable and of least resistance. Nigga, you should if you had the money. So dumb, man. I swear people are stupid. Be a real one. I'm gonna be real for my family and making sure that I get home at night. That's my goal. That's the goal. It's to get home at night. Make sure you guys to the like for the prayers up for the family. I hope that they find this woman. And I hope she is returned safe because I would never advocate for something like this to happen to anybody. She 84, fam, bleeding, getting kidnapped, and being held for ransom. Where we living in Mexico? Is this the cartel? Sugar's crazy, bro. Shout out to Rich Steve. Rich Steve, I appreciate you, big dog. I love having rich homies. I love having rich homies. Shout out to Rich Steve. Thank you, big dog, for the 20 ball. It is much appreciated. TS Car Wash and Detail Services. Thoughts on 50 Cent saying a J documentary is coming next? I don't have any thoughts. I don't have any thoughts. I don't have thoughts on, I don't know. Because, see, I think it's all an excuse. A lot of people were trying to make excuses and say, well, the reason that he made the Diddy documentary is because he had beef with him, and this has happened, and this has happened, and so on and so forth, and this is what they did in real life. I believe it's all capitalistic. It's all opportunistic. It's all about money. And people that do things only for money alone and don't have any other purpose on life other than that are some of the most dangerous people on the face of this earth. Lex says, I was being followed home once and didn't ever think anyone would do that. I don't bother anyone, see? And women are really targets. And women are really targets. All right, when you type in all caps and you keep on putting the same thing over and over again, you're going to get a first warning. All right, so clean it up. Clean up your, because you already ain't got no profile picture, so clean it up. And we're going to go from there. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. So much information in there. So much to do. You like the Kevin and Dario trade to Detroit? I do. I really, really do. And the reason that I like that trade to Detroit is because Jaden Ivey was looking to get paid. So in the beginning of the season, there was a lot of conversation about whether or not they should offer Jaden Ivey a large extension and Jalen Duren. Right now, Jalen Duren is going to get his money. The only two people that's untouchable, I'm not saying he's untouchable, but the only two people that are almost untouchable on the roster, Cade Cunningham is untouchable. He's never going anywhere. But Jalen Duren has proven himself to be able to get that type of money. But Jaden Ivey was also looking for an extension, and he coming off of an injury. And so what we needed was shooters. We need more shooters to surround the playmakers and the creators. The Cade Cunningham, we got the big man that we want. We got the veterans that we need. Shout out to all of the veterans on the Pistons. And we just wanted more shooters. So we serious about making a run for the championship. That's what we wanted. We wanted all sharpshooters, and we wanted to rid ourselves of a contract that we probably wasn't going to extend in the first place. So I think that it's absolutely awesome. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great play. TS Car Wash also says, AD, did you get Navigator PPF yet? Paint protection film? Nah, I'm not getting that. My nav is a write-off, bro. Nah, I'm not doing all of that. I only get that for the cars that I plan on keeping. Get it for the Porsche, the 911. Get it for the Challenger, the BMW X3, all of that stuff. I don't care about all of these other cars. Honestly, I'm starting to fall out of love with everything, bro. I almost don't care about stuff no more. I only care about being comfortable. All right, y'all. So let's get over to the next thing that we want to talk about. Hope she gets home safely. This is another thing that I wanted to share with y'all before we get into it. Well, actually, you know what? Let's get into the Bill Gates conversation. Because y'all know I talked about I stumbled upon the Melinda Gates conversation because she recently did an interview. And if y'all need me to replay the Melinda Gates interview before, actually, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to play the Melinda Gates interview in its entirety. And then I'm going to play the Bill Gates interview that he literally just did right after that. And I do not think that it's a coincidence. All right? So I'm going to play the first one. Bill Gates all of a sudden coming out of hiding. Get the heck out of here, bro. And then I'm going to play the second one. All right? Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel.
I have to acknowledge
turn on your notifications.
the elephant in the room at this moment. Your ex-husband, Bill, is named in the newest tranche of Epstein files. And there are a new alleged details about his past behavior. And I want to give you the opportunity to respond in whatever way you want to.
Well, let me say this. I think we're having a reckoning as a society, right? No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Well,
And
So she clearly is throwing him under the bus, and she's, in so many words, insinuating that he was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And it wasn't just casual, but let's continue.
I am so happy to be away from all the muck
yeah.
that was there.
I have to put more words to the muck for context for our listeners. The emails in the files suggest that Bill Gates had additional affairs and that he tried to get medication to treat a sexually transmitted infection, and that he was going to give you the medicine without you knowing. His representative has said all of this is false. It is not on you to have to respond to the details of that alleged behavior, but I wonder what your dominant emotion is when you read these news articles with these details.
Sad. Just unbelievable sadness. Unbelievable sadness, right? And again, I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how did
I need to
that happen to
shut
those
these
girls,
blinds in a
right?
second.
And so for me, it's just sadness for, I left my marriage. I had to leave my marriage. I wanted to leave my marriage. I had to leave I felt I needed to eventually leave the foundation. So it's just sad. That's the truth, right? And it's kind of like, at least for me, I've been able to move on in life. And I hope there's some justice for those now women, right? We see them standing up in front of microphones in D.C. What they went through is just unimaginable, I think.
ABJ's wise and strong. I'm so used to saying wise, strong, and smooth. ABJ says, I had to close that window that was behind me. Says, how long ago did this happen? How long ago did what happen? Did she do the interview? She just did the interview yesterday. This dropped yesterday, right? Immediately people caught on. I just so happened to be Googling it during the Millionaire Morning Show. And she said yesterday. So two things was insinuated in this clip. I didn't even see anything like it was a long interview or anything, but she basically was asked first about her husband getting caught up in this whole Epstein thing and all of these files coming out. And she basically saying that was one of the reasons. She insinuated that was the direct reason why she got divorced. Then the interviewer asked her again, because I want to bring y'all up to speed on what's going on. The interviewer asked her again, what she felt about documentation saying that he caught an STD. A lot of people saying it was from a Russian stripper. I don't know anything about that. And that he wanted to give her medicine and medication prior to her even knowing that he had caught an STD, because apparently he had gave it to her too. And he was trying to give it to her without her knowledge. And she didn't deny either one of them. She did not deny either one of them. She practically confirmed it. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't understand that. But so Bill Gates appeared, I believe, on like an Australian broadcast or something like that. And he was asked questions, I believe intentionally, because he was there speaking about science and how he's still planning on giving away over the next 20 years all of his fortune, and how he's dedicated to humanity and all of this stuff. And in the midst of this interview, he was asked about the whole Epstein situation after Melinda Gates just did a whole thing about it and had her whole say. So this is what Bill Gates had to say about the whole thing.
Under that issue of trust brings me to Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know what your relationship with him was.
Yeah, I met Jeffrey in 2011. So over a period of 3 years, I had a number of dinners with him. The focus was always, he knew a lot of very rich people, and he was saying he could get them to give money to global health. In retrospect, that was a dead end, and I've said many times, but I'll say again, I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him.
You've no doubt seen the allegations, including some of them from the last 24 to 48 hours. Are they true?
No, apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false.
I'm gonna read that
So I
super
don't
chat
know
for
what
you.
his thinking was there. Was he trying to attack me in some way? But, it just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that.
The problem is some of the things that he has sent and some of the information about other people that has come up in those files has been true. Why would he do this and say this about you, do you think?
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Is it frustrating to you, given what you've said, that this is now happening?
Not really. I mean, people should, hold people who are successful to a very high bar. And so, it's, as these documents come out, they're going to be closely scrutinized.
Okay.
I am heavy on never convicting people in a court of public opinion, considering if they are being arrested, if they are public figures. I think that a lot of times people don't get enough benefit of the doubt, and we automatically jump to conclusions and we start throwing people under the bus. Now, with that being said, I'm going to make a special exception today. I don't personally believe this nigga not one bit. I don't. With all of the money and all of the intellect and all of the research and all of the things that he's funding. And listen, if he's doing all of these great things for the world, God bless him. God bless him. But let me tell you something. I don't believe this nigga not one time. You know how we say don't believe women, prove it? Like, I don't believe all women. Why are they saying that? This is the one exception that I'm gonna make. This is the one exception that I'm going to make. Terrible People Podcast says he handled it perfectly, but he didn't. But he didn't. You know the perfect way to handle this? You know what the perfect way to handle this was? Think about this for a second. This is Bill Gates. Arguably, over the last 40 plus years, Bill Gates has been one of the most, if not the most, arguably famous person on the face of the earth. I'm not talking about basketball famous. I'm not talking about rap star famous. I'm not talking about country singer famous. I'm talking about Bill Gates is synonymous with the very devices that we use in some capacity. Very rare. You can't find anybody in the United States of America that is not using a Bill Gates device in some capacity. Even if you're an Apple person, you've used Microsoft Word, OneDrive, PowerPoint, spreadsheets, ChatGPT. Microsoft is invested in ChatGPT. In some way, shape, or form, you, your child, in the school that they in, using a PC, anything. At some point, you're using a product that he is the grandfather of. In some way, shape, or form. There's no way for us to get around it in order for us to exist in this technologically advanced world. Xbox Live, correct. LinkedIn. If you have a LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. In some way, shape, or form, you are using matter of fact, Microsoft and Bill Gates was one of the investors in Apple and giving him the lifeline, the financial lifeline, in order for him to come back and change the company around. Even if you're an Apple fan and you're using only Macs and iPhones and stuff, you are in some way, shape, or form attached to a Microsoft product. So when you think about that, for a second, right? He is arguably one of the most impactful and innovative people on the face of this earth still alive right now. This is just the facts. This is not my opinion. This is not how I feel about him. It's the facts, right? Are you telling me, because I know that he is probably has people around him, all around him that's vetting people. Probably got people trying to figure out who people and people work. And see, this is the difficulty with men. You want to know what the difficulty with men is? I'm going to show you the difficulty with men. The interesting thing about men is we are the smartest, most innovative. I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about men. We are the smartest, most innovative people on the face of this earth until we pull our dick out. I have seen some of the greatest people build some of the most phenomenal empires. And for whatever reason, they forget to do all of the precautions and go through all of the right things when they pull their dick out. Nigga, how you catch a STD and you build fucking gates? The fuck is you talking about? Nigga, you should have had hoes vetted, tested, and ready to go if you just wanted to live a crazy lifestyle. It is. It's the only weapon that they have. It's the only weapon that they have. And in these cases, what's being alleged is that these people were pulling their dicks out for little girls and little boys. Little girls and little boys. That's what's being alleged, right? If you're telling me that people are able to get close to Bill Gates and he's not vetting them out, he didn't ask a friend of a friend, hey man, who is this Epstein guy that everybody keep kicking it away? And he just went to Epstein was able to get a dinner with Bill Gates just off a GP. Hey man, listen, contact Bill, tell him I want to get a dinner. Hey Bill, yes, Epstein, I want to try to find philanthropic donors. And he had several dinners with him, never went to an island, never did anything. And he just so happened to burn both ends of the candle and figure out, you know what, Epstein ain't really gonna donate like that. So you know what, I'm gonna cut ties with him. Bullshit, bro. Bullshit. Nope, I'm not going for it. Nope, I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it in any way, shape, or form. You are not going to sell me on the idea that Bill Gates just so happened to stumble into multiple dinners with Jeffrey Epstein. His wife just so happens to leave him because of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, that there's alleged documents and she's jumping on interviews immediately in order to clear herself from him. And she's been under probably a gag order and she had to sign documentation during her divorce. And now, nigga, you just so happen to pop up and start doing interviews and having conversations when you ain't never spoke on this before. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Ain't no way in the world you gonna sell me on that. It would have been more believable, not saying that it was believable, but it would have been more believable if he hadn't ever addressed it. If he had never said nothing, hey man, listen, bro, we got research to do. I ain't thinking about that shit. I'm way above it. Trill Mercy says, I believe she scorned AD. Probably. Don't mean that she ain't also vindictive. Listen, you could be scorned and saying some wild shit that may be partially true at the same time. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. I think it just popped out of nowhere. He's supposed to be traveling the world, putting vaccines and shit together and buying farms and potatoes and digging water wells in Africa. And all of a sudden he pull up trying to talk about that. Get the hell out of here, bro. Ain't no way in the world you're going to sell me on this. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I stand on what I said last night on Room 9. So some of y'all may not have been there during Room 9 yesterday, but I stand on what I said. What I said was, for the type of money that she getting, $76 billion, allegedly more than $70 billion in a divorce, she can take a little burning. You can get something a little curable. Listen. I don't think that any woman should leave a billionaire because he gave you something that's curable. If Bill Gates can't get no leeway, what hope does it have for the rest of humanity? Good God. I stand on that. Listen, I stand on that. Women are getting it for free today. With guys that's in debt. Women are getting it for free today with guys that's in debt. You can't tell me that you can't take something that's cured. You listen, take a little shot, little penicillin, get that together. Lex, little shot, little penicillin. Little penicillin, we gonna fix that. So he made a mistake. He made a mistake. He made a mistake. It happens. So wait a minute, you saying that y'all saying that I'm off on this? She allegedly got 70 plus billion, not million, 70. Bro, I know chicks that'll take that penicillin shot for 760. Oh, now y'all want to say herpes is not curable. You know what's so funny? When I was doing review videos of people that were saying, I got herpes, let's normalize people that got herpes. It was people in my comments that was saying, oh man, so what? 1/3 of the population allegedly got HSV1 or whatever. Y'all was all for it when it was a regular little hood rat that was getting on a surfboard and dirty little hoe on the side of the road. But now when I say, oh, Bill Gates can give her a little herp for 76 billion, now y'all want to unnormalize it. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Now y'all want to start having standards. Now you want to start having standards. For 76? Oh, if you can't keep a chick trap shut for 70 plus billion dollars. Facts. Galactavius did do more for less. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. You heard Corey diss Joe Budden. I didn't. I really didn't. Honestly, I'm not focused on anything with regard to that. God bless them. I hope they do well. TS Car Wash and Detail Service. Now, what I did hear is that he going through it. I heard he going through it. Prayers up for Corey. Prayers up for Corey. Your car, we got to make sure that we reach out to Corey, the other Corey that we had on Friday, and we got to get him taken care of as far as the social media. I don't want to forget that. So your car, please remind me because I will forget about it because I got so much going on all around me. But we got to make sure that we get the other Corey's YouTube channel up and popping. So we got to take care of that by this weekend. Mr. Lot says that he crushed the meds in her food like she was a puppy. Ashley Monique. What up, Ashley? Is Frame Fights coming back? I miss it in the vibes from the Sunday crew. I see a dude side from you guys. It is. So me and Slimmy talked about that yesterday. Keisha. I know Michaela. I got Michaela. I've been talking to Michaela. Ava. I am focused. I'm focused. I talked to Slimmy about that because I just been so busy with interviews. We were going to bring it back this weekend, but then we realized probably shouldn't bring it back during the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So Frame Fights will be back on the 15th. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday we getting back to it. All right? We getting back to it. So yes, Ashley, absolutely. I like your hair, Ashley. All right, you got your eyebrows done and everything. Shout out to Ashley Monique. Trying to be a better person. I see talent. I see talent in you. Carrington Love Jr. says, welcome back to Reporting the News, Anton. I'm glad that urban culture bull is over. Shout out to Carrington Love Jr. I'm focused. I just like pretty people. Pretty people are awesome. Jesse B. Royalty says Epstein is just letting all the cats out the bag, even in his grave, supposedly his grave. Mr. Joe says the Lions fan that allegedly called DK Metcalf a racial slur is suing Unc and Ocho's media company for $100 million over defamation. Yeah, that's a reach. He ain't gonna never get that. LYP Speak says boxelitis is the fall of most great men who fall. I'm such a man. Wait a minute. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means, Janice. Y'all gotta give us grace. Y'all gotta give us grace. We like to see and kick it with people that's awesome. I don't think that anybody should be held accountable for liking pretty women. You know what I'm saying? That's good old, that's as American as apple pie. That is as American as a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should never be anybody that is ever held accountable. Like, if you walking down the street and you got your man and he noticed somebody pretty, you shouldn't even trip about that. You should be like, yeah, he just a man. That's what he do. That's what he do. My boxelitis is flaring up. Like, y'all should never ever hold a man accountable for seeing a pretty girl. That's my personal opinion. Like, yes, my eyes work, everything works. You know what I'm saying, Onaka? Let us live. Let us live. We not blind. Good God. We didn't say that we was gonna bust her down. We just acknowledging God. That's God. That's all God. Thank you, streets. Thank you, our streets. You get it. The least of my worries is a man looking at another woman. So many other things spoken. Thank you. Finally, people are starting to understand it. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. All right. We got a lot of work to do this week in the Patreon, so make sure y'all tap in. I've been doing live streams and dropping videos inside of the Patreon like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Let me see what else we got going on. Why are people acting like Magic Johnson wife left? Facts. Cookie stayed. Cookie stayed. B Southern says AD it hits different for the wife if she knows her husband is a monster to everyone else. She never thinks she will be on the receiving end of his diabolical manipulation. Now, listen, I agree with you, B Southern, because anything that's associated with little kids, that's different. I'm talking about like if he a billionaire and he get a little snooky on the side, that ain't no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Long as it ain't with a man, and as long as it ain't with a little kid. But I slipped up and I made a mistake with a Russian chick. You know what I'm saying? I think he deserved a little grace for that. We've gotten to the point now to where there's so many down low men and so many diabolical things that I don't think that men should be held accountable if they make a mistake and get some head from another woman or something. Is that something that we need to be talking about on After Hours? I'll introduce it. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it on Thursday. Let me put this title down. Men deserve grace for heterosexual failures occasionally. You know what I'm saying? Ashley says, You are very handsome. However, I have my eye on Kim, Miss Sanchez, and Lex. I love box. You know, we need a little bit of a diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think on After Hours, we have been very much in a box with a traditional type of conversation, and I think that a lot of people have been thinking the same way. So I'll tell you what, Ashley, if you're interested, hit me up. You know where to find me on Instagram. Send me a DM. And because we need different perspectives. I got different shows, different ideas. I got all the things that I'm trying to figure out. All right. I don't always have to agree with everything that everybody does, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't have diversity of thought. Diversity of thought. Shout out to Ashley. Decriminalized boxolitis, says LYP Speaks. Mr. Lot says this is what R&B is for. Talk about it. Motown Mo in the building. What up, Motown Mo? I appreciate you. All right, y'all. We got to move on with the show. Okay? So what did we just talk about? We just talked about Bill Gates. Y'all want to go over to Minneapolis and see what's happening over there? I got to give y'all an update on Minneapolis. And the reason that I have to give y'all an update on Minneapolis, because we are going to get to the money. We got a lot that we have to talk about, and I have to get through some of these subjects. And I know I said that I might stream Saturday last week, but I genuinely might stream Saturday this week simply because I did cut the show yesterday. And I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. But I do want to share with y'all this one video really quickly. I'm not going to spend any more than 10 minutes. I promise y'all I'm not going to spend no more than 10 minutes on this one. All right.
Minneapolis police are stepping in after a community created their own method of public safety against ICE. Uba Ali joins us live in Minneapolis with more on that. Uba?
Well, Frank, they say this is all in the name of public safety. A grassroots response to immigration enforcement, they say, is hurting their communities.
What do y'all think about, before we get into this whole situation, what do y'all think about women, like basic women as newscasters and stuff like that? What do y'all think about it? Like I don't really want to. I respect your right to practice your religion and express your freedoms within your synagogues, churches, whatever. But I really just don't want to see any women in a hijab, personally. Because I look at the news as informative and entertainment, and I genuinely just don't want to see any woman in a hijab. I think that women that do the news in hijabs, and this is, again, my personal opinion, I think that they should be writers or producers. It's the reason why a camera is out there. I don't want to see that. I'm not interested in seeing a woman in a hijab. And I'm not going to separate it just because she got a hijab on or because she's Somali, because we've been judging newscasters and news women for the longest. We've been judging newscasters, so don't think that this is new just because Somali's been committing fraud in Minneapolis. Nope. We've been judging them in Miami, New York, Los Angeles, everywhere. We've been judging newscasters for as long as I can remember this show going on and us actually having newscasters on here. So we definitely got to continue the trend, and we not making exceptions just because you got on a hijab. I'm not making no exceptions.
At this roundabout at 34th and 17th, flames burn as people stand guard.
We are literally creating a place that we know who's coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods.
In the middle of the road at 32nd and Cedar Avenue.
Look at Big Bird. Look at Big Bird out here.
Creating a place that we know who's coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods.
In the middle of the road at 32nd and Cedar Avenue, a makeshift roadblock turned this intersection into a roundabout. Cars slowed as drivers noticed, some honked, others asked questions, and one man brought food for the people standing watch.
Hi, sir. Thank you so much.
How did it make you feel just seeing a community checkpoint in your neighborhood?
Well, it felt fine. I don't have any trouble with folks helping out.
Wade Haynes has been standing at this corner twice a day for one reason: to stand up against ICE activity and keep his community safe. He chose this corner. Others chose this intersection.
It's kind of inspiring. It's like, wow, okay. We've got folks out there who are kind of taking care of us, looking out for us. That's good.
But Minneapolis police stepped in.
Look at these idiots, bro. Look at these idiots. Look at the cones and the barriers. Look at all of this dumb stuff that they doing out in Minneapolis, bro.
Clearing the roadblock and restoring flow of traffic.
Honestly, I'm kind of sad about it.
Still, residents say the roadblock was necessary.
We need to keep our neighbors safe, so we will be doing this again.
We have to make sure that when we go into these neighborhoods, when y'all go and buy a home, one of the criteria has to be voting records. Is this an area where there's a majority liberals, or is this an area where there's a majority conservatives? Y'all always wanted to ask or try to find out exactly why people ultimately have homeowners associations and stuff like that. It was literally to protect you against stuff like this. So that grown folks, middle-aged white people can't go out there, that's liberal, can't go out there and start putting up artificial roadblocks. They would get fined, they would get assessed this stuff, they would get a lien put against their property. This is one of the reasons why people started having homeowners associations, because they didn't want Big Bird right here out there messing up the flow of their traffic. What do you mean? What do you mean? Somebody said, AD, are most of your neighbors Republicans or Democrats? Republicans. Good old Second Amendment toting Republicans. Straight up Republicans. You know how I know? You want me to tell you how I know? Because every time I go into a place, this is the plight of black conservatives. The plight of black conservatives is when we go into an area, people tiptoe around us because we the boogeyman, right? And most of the time, they assume. I got on an elevator to go to, I was going into the lounge. On my way back home on Tuesday or Monday, I was taking a flight from Tulsa back to Detroit. It's a layover over in Atlanta. My plane got delayed, so I'm sitting inside of the lounge. And I will say this was my first time inside of Concourse D's. Concourse D in Atlanta has the second best Sky Club, Delta Sky Club, that I've ever seen. Concourse D, because a lot of airports like Metro Detroit, Los Angeles, Atlanta, they have multiple different Sky Clubs, all right? In Detroit, we got 3 of them, all in the McNamara terminal alone. I don't think it's any of them inside of the other terminal. I don't even know what the name of the other terminal is. But inside of the McNamara terminal, we got 3 of them, all within walking distance. In Atlanta, Concourse D, the Sky Club in Concourse D is the second best one I've ever seen. The first Delta Sky Club, the best one, is actually in LAX. They redid it. You can sit, look at the planes. It's lit. It's dope. LAX one is the best, is actually the best one. But the Sapphire Lounge, I think, is better than all of them. The Sapphire Lounge that I experienced in San Diego was better than all of them. All right. So that's just a little travel tip. I might have to do a travel channel. I think I might change the old Darth Anton channel into a car and travel channel. I think that's what I'm going to do. Anyways, long story short, I jump in the elevator because you got to go upstairs in order to get to the Sky Club in Atlanta. I think it's upstairs or was that somewhere else? But I jump in the elevator and it's two white guys. And it's one white guy, he seemed a little zesty. And it's another white guy and he just seemed regular. The zestier white guy said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." And I said, "Oh," because I already know what that means. "You're Anton Daniels. I watch all of your content." Man, and this is what he says. This is the zesty looking guy, white guy. "I love it how you hold these liberals accountable." And then the other white guy said, "Oh, wow." Because he's surprised at what the guy says to me as far as me holding liberals accountable. And he says, no, he didn't say liberals. He said protesters. "I'm glad how you hold these protesters accountable." So the other white guy says, "Yeah, and I'm sure he holds everybody in this administration accountable also." And so me and him just kind of looked at each other. And the guy said, and this is honest to God, he says, "Well, he's an equal accountability smoke giver." I said, "I got chasers in every city. I have chasers in every city." But my point is that a lot of these white people by default look at black people and they automatically assume that we Democrats. They automatically assume that we liberals. By default, a lot of times the ones that are conservative, they wait until you say something and then they feel comfortable. Yeah, because they be conservative themselves a lot of times, but they not sure if you conservative because black people have a history of voting Democrat. Bro, I got the juice right now. I ain't even gonna cap. I have the juice right now. I almost did some celebrity shit. I almost put on a mask the other day. Put on the mask so they can't see me. Every time I get on a plane, I always see this. "Yeah, dog." Giving me the dap. "Hey man, I really fuck with you." I got the juice right now. And the juice is loose. The juice is loose. When y'all see me on Instagram taking pictures, "Hey, AD, can I get a picture?"
A city spokesperson said they cleared the street to ensure public safety for the neighborhood and emergency vehicles. Frank?
All right, Uba, thank you. A South Minneapolis taco shop is open again after a confrontation involving men believed to be ICE agents raised fear among workers and neighbors. Our Derek James has the story.
Ilsa Denise Aguilar Ortega is back at work, taking orders and serving customers during lunch at Tacos El Primo in South Minneapolis.
It was an emotional day where we were scared. We're more emotional because we see.
No. Somebody said I would say hello and keep walking unless the conversation starts. I don't hound people. I'm the nicest person that you're going to ever meet in person. Real talk. I'm the nicest person that you will ever meet, bro. It's a lot of people in here that have met me in real life. I ain't on that stuck up shit. I ain't on none of that. I actually love people. I appreciate people. Anybody that, if you see me in the streets, man, say what up, bro. Say what up, because I'm a very, very nice person.
All the love that the community has given us. So yeah, it's something that warms your heart.
That fear followed a confrontation here Sunday when a crowd surrounded a group of men they believed to be ICE agents after they ate inside the restaurant. In this video, one person is seen knocking a drink from a man's hand.
And this is where we differ. This is where we differ. I don't know why y'all feel like y'all can put your hands on people. First of all, you don't know me. Secondly, you don't know if I'm an ICE agent or not. You just assuming. Why do people... Y'all got that bad. Y'all got that bad. Y'all got that bad. I don't know why y'all do that. This guy exercised a level of restraint.
Aguilar Ortega says the encounter began like any...
This guy exercised a level of restraint that I think should be commended.
Knocking a drink from a man's hand.
And it's a woman. White women, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. I don't know why y'all feel like y'all can do that.
Drink from a man's hand.
I don't know why y'all want to put y'all hands on people. I don't know why y'all do that.
Video, one person is seen knocking a drink from a man's hand.
You cannot, let me say this again for the people in the back. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Yell, get your whistle, scream. All of you protesters out there, yell, get your whistle, scream. Don't kick my car. Don't do none of that. Don't kick my car. Don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me. Keep your hands to yourself, bro. He exercised a level of restraint that a saint would be like, yes, well done, my good and faithful servant. I don't know why people put their hands on other people unwarranted. I don't understand that, bro. I don't get it. That just makes no sense to me. This pissed me off when I watched this the others today so much.
A drink from a man's hand.
Yeah, the Evans terminal. Shout out to Carmen. It's the Evans terminal, the other one. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Axiom AI says, with no profile picture, he says, I wonder will Anton get exposed for trying to manipulate women by using his platform? Nigga, I'm trying to get some head right now. What you talking about? What? Nigga, what? What are you talking about? I'm trying to get you to get your mama to come over here and put her head on my pillow. What you talking about, boy? I'm trying to get your grandma with Billy gumdrop, trying to get your grandma to take her dentures out right now. All gum job. Gummy bear. Trying to get your grandmother to give me the gumdrop. Axiom AI. Check it out, bro. Tell Gam I said I like her. And I like what she got going on over there. I know she used to be a spry young thing. They used to call her Billy Gumdrop back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't let them make you derail. Winter Fresh, Mac. Listen, Winter Fresh. All of y'all must be new to what we're doing over here on Millionaire Morning Show. I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of people must be new here. So now it's all a big deal. Oh my God, he can't believe Anton is going back and forth with the chat. The chat is a part of the show. We're not going to continue to try to place anybody above entertainment. And so if people see, he's not even offended. He's not even offended. So listen, this is what we do. The chat is my co-host for the show. We joke back and forth for all of the easily offended people. We joke back and forth We go back and forth with each other. And as long as people don't get crazy and say something about somebody's kids or something like that, then we joke. Y'all gotta loosen up, bro. When did we get so easily offended? Come on, man. Y'all gotta loosen up, bro. Y'all gotta loosen up, bro. So y'all only want me to be serious on the internet? Is that all y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to be easily? Look, as usual, it's always another nigga that don't know any better. Okay, so hey y'all, let's break it down from a C student. We got to go back to elementary school. Wood says you the one that said leave family out of it. Yes, in real life, nigga. What we do here is the equivalent of your mama joke. Your mama so fat or whatever. Your mama this, y'all don't. Okay, did we get so brain fried to where we don't know the difference between doing a general joke and actually attacking people in real life? Nigga, he don't even have a profile picture. How will we know what this nigga look like? How do we even know who this nigga mama is? That's the thing that's so interesting about when people say, well, you talked about the Hebrew. Nigga, that was an edited clip where somebody threw some pictures that they found on the internet. Nigga, I'm talking in general and I'm joking. I was laughing and joking about some Hebrew Israelites that I had ran into in real life when we was walking down the street in downtown Detroit and they was preaching. And so they started making videos about me and they started posting it to the internet. And so I just started joking and cracking jokes back on them. And I said, man, y'all niggas don't be having no money. Your kids probably be dusty and all of this other stuff. Y'all need to get y'all money up and all of this, so on and so forth. Don't nobody know what these niggas ain't. Nobody put their people on the internet. But of course, because people are trying to justify anything that they can in order to justify liking somebody else or disliking somebody else, people want to try to manipulate it to be something that it's not. So then they take what you say and then they throw in some extra pictures and they throw it on there and say, look what you was talking about. Shut the fuck. Niggas are so weak. They so weak. People are so weak. And it's amazing to me that we have to explain the difference between somebody intentionally going after a real person versus cracking jokes on the internet. Facts, Darshan. Always have been, always will be. Would, if you take somebody's picture that is not a content creator and you put it on the internet for the slow people in the back and you go to attack them personally, it is a much different conversation than saying a joke in general. Why do we have to break this down for you dumb motherfuckers that truly don't understand the difference between cracking a joke versus being intentionally attacking people in real life? I think that the majority of y'all understand and get it. I believe that the majority of y'all understand and get it. No? Okay. Let's move on. I'm going to read the super chats in a second, but I want to share this other video with y'all. People are so stupid, bro. But we're not going to focus on that right now. We got to continue on with the show. I want to share something else that really came across my timeline that I thought was pretty egregious and that I thought was very, very stupid and disrespectful.
Just called and said that his school just brought him to a protest. So he's currently at a protest. I'm fitting to go rage. Who the said you could bring my child to a protest? any of our kids to a protest. They see what's happening today. Bringing kids out there now. Purposely in schools. Washington State. Send this out. Washington State. Sending their kids to protest. I'll see you soon. Let me give you a little rundown on the way there. White Center, we call out here Rat City. If anybody from Washington State knows this Rat City is not an area you bring kids, let alone bring kids to a protest in this piece of city. If anybody knows White Center, you know Rat City is dangerous. Why are you bringing our kids into dangerous territory with fucking protesting going on? Anyway, I'll see you soon. See you in the next video. It looks like they made it all back to the school already before I could get here. Yeah, so they all just got back before I can get here. All the kids. Fucking furry teachers on their bikes. Is this really what's going on? This is craziness. This is craziness. We got the
I would be
hairs,
pissed.
everything. Are you serious? Yellow hair? Oh my God, my kid is at a woke school. What is going on? This is Cascade Middle School, everybody. Cascade Middle School in Washington State. Did you consent to that?
I didn't want to.
You didn't want to do that?
No.
I would be on fire. I would be absolutely on fire if somebody, my kid is supposed to be in school learning math, science, geography, and I'm starting to see videos of people that are telling me that that the teachers and the principals are letting these kids go outside and protest. They're pushing these kids. Now, we know that kids are dumb. We know that children are dumb, right? What does that mean, Anton? It means we know that children will do anything to get out of school, even if it embarrasses themselves. So now what they are doing, what the adults are doing, and this is why you have to be careful about indoctrination, about the liberalization of the United States of America, because they are planting seeds early in life in these kids' lives. And because these kids will do anything in order to get some visibility or to get out of school, now what they are doing is that they are leveraging these children to go outside and to protest. Where did we go wrong, bro? Where did we go wrong? Y'all are paying y'all tax dollars for them to manipulate y'all children and to have them out there protesting for causes that may not even align with what you teach them at home. And if your child is not strong enough to actually come to you and call you and say, hey, mom, hey, dad, they got us out here doing stuff that we ain't even supposed to do. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people are starting to move towards homeschooling. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people are starting to take their children out of regular school and they are willing to make the sacrifice to pay for their children to go to private school. Do you know one of the benefits of private school? People think that private school is about the curriculum. That's only a small part of it. Private school is about the culture. And people that have resources are willing to pay for a different culture because the culture is the thing that influences us, them, and everybody else that's around us to do and think and live the lives that we're living. So when people put their children in Catholic private school, it's not that they subscribe to Catholicism, it's that they subscribe to the idea of discipline, of Jesus, and not subjecting yourself to this liberal alternative way of living. And they want their kids to be a part of a network and a group of other people that have similar views, similar interests, and are there to learn how to be what they're supposed to be. That is the reason why people largely pay an egregious amount of money for their children to go to private schools. It is not just because of academics. I would have you to know that people that have resources don't care as much about academics as they care about creating good habits. People will spend any amount of money. A lot of people will say, hey, man, why would you, man, that's a lot of money. Why would you spend that on your kid? Because a lot of people view their children as the most important thing in their lives. They view that as an investment. So they'll pay for their kid to go to private school from K through 12. And people will say, well, people that went to private school, a lot of times, they don't necessarily care about college and everything. It's not about that. It's not about that. Somebody said, Anton, would you ever consider attending Mass? I have. I went to private Catholic school in seventh and eighth grade, and we had to, part of our curriculum was religion. We had to study the Bible. We had to teach math. We had to go to Mass. We had to do all of that stuff. Now, my parents were smart enough and wise enough to put in me early, and we continued to have conversations about what was going on in school and what was this and so on and so forth. And so they would tell me, and we would have conversations, and they would say, listen, you know, this is what we do actually in holiness. It's much different than what they do. So don't rock the boat, don't wave, you know. And so, you know, go ahead and don't try to make a big deal out of it. But I want you to remember who you are and where you came from and what your core values are. So their goal was for me to look at life and see life from a completely different lens than only being raised in the hood. And it changed my life for the better. It absolutely changed my life for the better. And so when you see these people that are basically using and leveraging these kids to push their agenda, all it is a mini indoctrination camp, similarly to how it is that they do it in college. College is no longer a place for a child or for a budding adult to learn, to build relationships, to network. It's not. They're teaching you and they pushing agendas. This is the whole reason why Trump killed diversity, equity, and inclusion and all of those same things over at college campuses. And he said, listen, we want to move towards a merit-based curriculum and society because we are tired of people pushing agendas instead of allowing for people to think for themselves. And it's funny because I fought it. I was so mad at my parents. I couldn't really get mad because I was getting into a lot of trouble. But I protested at home. I had a bad attitude. And I remember being so disgusted at the idea that I had to get sent to a private school with all boys. I was so aggravated. I hated the idea that I had to go in it. Because all I want, you know, we had boxolitis and, you know, hormones is raging. You know what I'm saying? You going through puberty, all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm glad that my parents wasn't focused on being my friend. I'm glad that my parents was focused on raising up a man that was supposed to be what he's supposed to be. I didn't need a friend. I didn't need soft, gentle parenting. I needed my parents to say, listen, we don't really care about what you think. This is what you're going to do. And so you can go if you want to, or, I mean, you can make a big stink about it if you want to, but you go in anyway. So you might as well figure out how to get through it. And we got these parents, these soft parents now in life that's so weak, and they're more focused on trying to be their kid's friend instead of being a parent. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because looking back on it, it changed my life and it completely opened up my lenses so I could see other things that surround me. And I was able to compare and contrast and make my own decisions on what it is that we're supposed to be doing in the culture and what we're not supposed to do in the culture. It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
After the cops came up, one of the guys was like, like the guy with the megaphone, like a kid, who's like, do not talk to the federal thingamabobs, whatever it is.
Best believe I will be at the next school board meeting. You'll see my next video when that happens.
No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state. No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state. No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state. No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state.
Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Be very, very careful, y'all. Just be careful. Be very, very, very careful. Let me read y'all super chat, so we're going to get into the next part of the show. Janice Nicole says, ain't nothing wrong with being a man. I love men even when they being managed. Okay, Janice. All right, Janice. All right. Okay, Janice. Don't get in trouble. Don't get yourself in trouble. These people don't have jobs. I say the same thing all the time, bro. LYP. Sega did it says Christian women should wear them too. 1 Corinthians 11:6. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We don't want, no, listen. We don't do hijabs. This is the United States of America. This is not the Middle East. Okay. Riri says, good morning, AD. How do you feel about women working in Congress? I don't think that women should be in Congress. I don't think that women should be in a house. I don't think they should be in Congress. I don't think that they should be presidents, vice presidents. I am not a fan, personally, and this is my own personal opinion. I am not a fan of women in elected positions of leadership. I've always said that. I've always stood on it. I would never personally pick and select a woman to lead me. I would never pick a woman to represent my best interests or to speak on my behalf in my area and my district. That's just me personally. I'm going to leave it there. Darren says, so they doing Border Patrol to go against Border Patrol. These people aren't real. Facts. Mr. Joe says, I thought liberals are against borders. They called an ICE agent the hard ER, says Rick Nicholson. Sanquan says, this is the burning building MLK was talking about. Kelsey Clark says, shout out to Kelsey, says, liberal men don't run their households, and they all talk like their balls haven't dropped. One love, Eddie. Shout out to Kelsey, man. I appreciate you, bro. Zelensky says, the damage the Democrats did to the reputation of the United States of Minnesota is beyond belief, very low IQ. I agree with you. AR is back in the building, says one of Cass Tech teachers posted the students protesting outside on Facebook. Yeah, I seen that. I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed in my school, in my former high school. Very disappointed. Jesse V. Royalty says, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. AD said what I was thinking. Honestly, being a bag chaser helped me to realize I can follow scripture and do well financially. Talk about it. Talk about it. RFZ Biz says, I agree, AD. I went to private school from K through 12. It's about discipline and structure more than religion. See? Fob Brown says, shout out to Pops for sacrificing his new... you know about that, the T-Bird, the Thunderbird. And investing in your education, the best investment ever to change his son's life. Shout out to him. Shout out to my dog, Fob Brown, too. Shout out to Fob Brown. I got to get these coaching calls back up and popping ASAP. Riri said, I agree. What up, Riri? What up, Riri? All right, let's see where we at. What time looking like? Because I got to go and do this interview. All right, we got enough time to get through a lot of this other stuff. All right, let me share this next video with you guys.
Damn. I just walked in here literally 10 seconds ago. I got a speech, man. I've never written a speech in my life, and yesterday I said, I should write a speech. I said, dear God, I just want to say thank you. Nothing is possible without you. Your love and will preserves me through it all. I want to also thank my mother, who as of today has retired from her job after 30 years. Working in the medical field as a registered nurse in the psych ward. She worked 3 to 4 jobs just to provide for me and my four siblings as an immigrant in this country. Thank you, Mom. Sorry, I know I don't got too much time. I'm gonna read this whole speech though. I also want to thank Jared Carter, Abbas Patti, Tina Davis, Ghazi, Nima, Nate Stevenson, and the entire Empire team for believing in me. Thank you so much, brother. And everybody else, Sean Cook, Devin Sastry, Josh Klein, and TKG, my lawyer, Bob Celeste, and everybody that's a part of this, Harvey Mason, thank you so much. I have the greatest team in the world. Thank you so much. And again, the last thing I want to say, immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it. Thank you for bringing your culture, your music, your stories, and your traditions here. You give America color. I love y'all so much. Thank you.
So this is Shabuzi, all right? DJ Ace Productions, several people in the chat are familiar with it. He was able to win a Grammy at the recent Grammys. And so as I continue to mine through what was meaningful and what wasn't meaningful at the Grammys, this is a guy named Shabuzi who has recently won a Grammy, and he does rap and country. All right, he does rap and country. I'm going to play for you again the part that got people angry, both conservatives and black people.
Thank you so much. I have the greatest team in the world. Thank you so much. And again, the last thing I want to say, immigrants built this country.
I'm going to play it one more time just so we all on the same page.
And again, the last thing I want to say, immigrants built this country, literally.
And then the crowd went wild. I hate to be on my blackity black thing today, but I have to go ahead and objectively have a conversation with you guys and explain to you all people why he's wrong. I have to explain to you people why he is wrong. He said immigrants built this country literally. I am not misquoting him. I am saying exactly what he said.
Immigrants built this country, literally.
In his acceptance speech, he said, immigrants built this country literally. And then he hearkened back to his mother, who was an immigrant. Now, I can't put words in his mouth. I don't know if she was legal. I don't know if she was illegal. I don't know what that is. But he goes in and he says, immigrants built this country. How disrespectful. How disrespectful for him to say that immigrants built this country. Do you know the wars that was fought and the blood that spilled on American soil, civil wars? You know how many people came over here on a transatlantic slave trade? They weren't immigrants. They were slaves. It is a difference. Slaves built the United States of America. They built the infrastructure. They built this country economically into the superpower that it is. And even when they were quote unquote freed, they were freed in order to try to weaken the South. It wasn't that Lincoln was so much greater of a president. Yes, Lincoln was a Republican and Lincoln did the right thing, but Lincoln also had additional ulterior motives for making sure that he freed the slaves. He didn't have to, but it absolutely worked in the favor of Republicans in order to try to free the slaves so that they can weaken the South. Civil wars were happening on American soil, and people spilled crazy amounts of blood for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. People were abused, raped, whole families torn apart, castrated. They came up with some of the most diabolical ways to make examples out of people and to torture people in order to try to put fear in people. They denied them the ability to read. The reason why we eat chitterlings today is that we were basically feeding off of the slop, and we learned how to turn lemons into lemonade. Literally. We had to sneak to learn how to read, sneak to learn how to praise God. All of this stuff, right? And two things can be true at the same time. And I don't want people to get confused in trying to say that, blackity black, right? We can acknowledge the history of this country while at the same time not still being victims of it. You learn from your history so you can become a better version of it, and you evolve. But to disrespectfully jump up there, and this is why we should not listen to country singers, rappers, entertainers. And I'm not saying that some of them don't know what they're talking about, because some of them do. But we have to be able to parse through who's right and who's wrong. When somebody comes up here and says, immigrants built this country, literally, it is disrespectful. You know how many black soldiers joined in the Civil War in order to try to fight to have some semblance of respect in this country? I'm just being honest. Listen, I hate people running in the Victim Olympics as far as continuously trying to blame things that happened in the past as a crutch for why they can't make the right decision and do what they're supposed to do as far as being decent human beings. But I'll be damned if somebody get on stage and say that immigrants built this country. Says who? What history book have you been reading? That don't mean that you can rewrite history just because we choose not to be victims anymore, because we now have an understanding and we getting back to our conservative roots. Says who? And this is one of the reasons why we have to be careful. Stop putting these people that don't know shit on a pedestal, thinking that they are the ones that are supposed to be speaking on your back. And then they want you to join in with them. That's why they want us to be out here protesting ICE. We're not protesting ICE. This is our country. Why would I protest ICE from deporting people that's not supposed to be here legally? Let me tell you what I detest. I detest people saying black and brown. The fuck? What you mean black and brown? Ain't no black and brown. The civil rights movement is hijacked. I didn't see any brown people being slaves. Ain't no black and brown. This ain't no kumbaya. I hate when people try to put women, liberal women, in the same category as black and brown and trans people. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. And you can't hijack a movement and then put your own homosexuality spin on it and try to make us a part of all of that bullshit. No. Ain't no black and brown. And then you steal all of the letters of the alphabet and then tell us we supposed to be out there. They gonna come and get you too. No, they gonna come and get you, nigga. They coming to get you. Your black ass ain't supposed to be here. Your white ass ain't supposed to be here. Your brown ass ain't supposed to be here. And until you come over here legally, because let's be clear, I'm not against immigrants being in this country. But what I am against is illegal people coming over here, taking advantage of our tax dollars, stealing money, fraud, being able to set up whole fucking businesses on our dime. That's the difference. I'm not going to be racist against other people that I don't know just because of the color of their skin. But what I am going to do is say you better respect this motherfucking country, because it's literally memorials that showcase the people that died and spilled blood in order for us to be able to vote, in order for us to be free. You coming in here riding a wave on the back. I have to acknowledge the people that came before me. You coming over here riding a wave, and then you got the nerve to come over here and capitalize while at the same time disrespecting the people that built this country? At least get your facts straight. We can't do this in other people's spaces. We can't go to somebody else's country and just say some wild shit and think that we're gonna be able to sleep well at night. They own your ass. I don't care how poor the country is. I don't care if you go to Booty Scratcherville. They own your ass. You can't go in no place. And they could be hating each other, robbing each other, raping and pillaging the women, but they own your ass. They own you. They're on you. You can't go to any other country and disrespect even these fucking beer drinking Canadians. Canadians, eh? You can't even go up there and do that shit. How do I know? Because we right across the street from Canada. They be looking at you, I don't like this motherfucker. But people just feel they just get away with it. Y'all just come over here and get away with it. Just say anything and just be talking and don't know nothing about the history of this country. You can't come over here and just disrespect all of our previous civil rights, real civil rights leaders, not these new niggas. These new niggas, they just be talking on the internet. They not actually doing nothing for their community. They not really in the paint. They not doing nothing. They just talking. They Twitter fingered the fuck up, and they not going nowhere and not really doing nothing. I'm not talking about these new niggas that call themselves civil rights leaders. I'm talking about the old school niggas that used to get arrested 11 times in a week. Niggas that was sitting in prison every single day. They was broke. They wasn't making no money. They was on the list of the CIA and the FBI. They was chasing them down because they felt like they had too much power and influence because they truly wanted the best for people, even if they disagreed with each other. I'm talking about them. I'm so tired of people coming over here and disrespect. Like, even white people, right? There were white people that actually genuinely fought for the freedom and freedom riders and all of these people. It was a real thing. And y'all just come over here and just say anything. And y'all got these dumbass punk ass celebrities applauding in the crowd. I hate these celebrities. I absolutely despise. I'm just telling you right now, bro. I don't want any friends in these celebrity circles. Now, I do say that there are some genuine ones, because I'm speaking in general. There are some genuine ones that I'm cool with, and they dope, and we work, we talk on the phone, and we have real conversations and all of that stuff. But as far as all of these other people, man, you 28, 30-year-old motherfuckers that just came out of your daddy's nutsack and you got a speech to give, get the fuck out of here, man. We don't want to hear that shit. Nigga, sing. Just sing. Shut up and dribble, dog. Just shut up and dribble. And then they out there, oh, you don't understand exactly what he meant by it. No, I heard what he said. Just dribble, bro. Just dribble and sing and hit them high notes. We not interested in getting your political take. I don't want to hear from any more ignorant celebrities just because these niggas got a Grammy that's supposed to translate into us following them to the polls. Nigga, suck a dick, bro. Suck a dick. Listening to you idiots giving advice, trying to, and all of y'all doing, all y'all handlers that tell y'all what to say. I don't even believe that was his speech. I believe that was handed to him in order for him to say. And just because you niggas dress weird, we supposed to look at y'all as an influence. No, you just weird. You're not innovative. You're not sweet. You're just weird. That's it. You're just weird. And sometimes you put out a good song, and sometimes we like y'all. songs, but that don't mean y'all got it. Man, listen, y'all have to divest yourself from celebrity culture. Y'all have to. We have to stop riding these niggas and acting like they the greatest of all times. We can't keep letting these niggas. Bro, if anything, Beyonce should have told y'all, she taught y'all that what she sing in her song is not necessarily a reflection of what she gonna do in her household. Because guess what? She didn't leave. Get a whole album off of it, tore it off that bitch, but guess what? She's still there. All the single ladies, but she's still there. Cardi don't let her kids listen to the shit that y'all let y'all kids listen to. But y'all still work. Y'all still letting y'all. Oh, she dressed like Cardi. How the fuck she know who Cardi is? As a child? Y'all need to learn how to separate the person from their talent. Separate the person from their talent. Because whatever it is, and let me tell you something else. Here's another thing for you. You want to know something else? A lot of these people actually voted for Trump. And they just don't want to say it out loud. A lot of these celebrities actually voted for Trump and they just don't want to be held accountable for it. They rock with Trump. They vote Republican and they stand with Republicans and they try not to say nothing to bring any visibility to themselves because they don't want to alienate their fan base, and justifiably so. And justifiably so. Because that's your job and that's your way that you make money. And I don't blame you for staying out of the politics. But it's a lot of people that even say that they insinuate that they actually liberal, but they don't vote that way in real life. They don't. Most of these people are raging Republicans. They are conservative. The only time that they want a brown person on their property is to cut their motherfucking grass and to trim them hedges and them bushes. You know why they want them over here? Because they need a plumber. Because they want cheap labor. That's why they want them here. It's because they like Jorge. They like Jorge. Because they need them hedges done and they need their maid services. That's why because they're capitalistic. They don't care about these people. They care about capitalism. They don't want to have to clean their own homes. That's why. They like their taco trucks. Keep on acting like these people really care about you. Man, they don't care nothing about you. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to tell you the truth. Stop worshiping these celebrities. Shabuzi. And then they want us to align with them just because they black. Get the fuck out of here. Manny Plays PC says these people need to count their blessings that we don't actually live under a dictatorship. Every single one would be disappeared. Eric Harris says, every time I hear someone say immigrants built this country, makes me believe they're trying to rewrite American history too. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, when you get time, definitely check out the Shannon and Joe Budden interview. It was Shannon and Joe Budden, greater interview. 80 thoughts on Paul George's 25-game suspension and $11 million loss. I thought it was $12 million loss. It's justified. If you're using a drug of substance that's clearly banned inside of the NBA. When that nigga did that dunk, I was like, yeah, this nigga's out of there. He out of there. Danielle says, good to reflect on the past of who built what, but use it for inspiration to maintain and sustain, which is way harder than building. Facts. Danielle is always learning, says, it's our immigrant and slave ancestors who sacrificed for freedom. And Jesus, thus, is our land. Our mamas ain't no immigrants. Talk to them. I'm sorry, Daniel is always learning. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says Lil Jon's son is missing in Georgia. Yeah, I heard about that. I'm going to have to cover that tomorrow. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says 80 Cardi daughter had an IG at 2 months now. They was basically building up her following so that when she get older, she'll be able to capitalize off of her likeness. Daniel says that's our ancestors spilled blood in the USA and not his. Cam Conversation says, interesting. Trump comes from an immigrant family. I don't know if y'all heard what I said. I am not against migrants or immigrants in this country. I'm against people that are here illegally taking up our tax dollars. And I don't know what Trump lineage is. I know he an American because in order for you to actually be able to run for president of the United States of America, you have to be born on American soil. So Michael Armstrong says, time to realize it's the United States against the world within our own borders. Facts. Thoughts on the R. Kelly victim speaking out? Yep, I seen that. We're going to talk about that tomorrow on After Hours. After Hours? After Hours? Because I might have some not so popular takes. I actually had that on the docket, but I said that I was going to shelve it because we had a lot to cover as far as the Epstein situation. So anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. If y'all are not part of the Patreon, you need to make sure you tap into the Patreon. We're doing some great things. I want to get into Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj went on a woman's platform named Katie Miller. Katie Miller, she has 44,000 subscribers. And somehow, some way, these people be getting these big interviews. Maybe because I don't be asking, but somehow, some way, these people be getting these big interviews. And one of the people that she had on her platform was none other than Nicki Minaj. And Nicki Minaj had a couple different things to say about Gavin Newsom, as well as Don Lemon. So make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Some of the policy. Have a surgery, but wouldn't. You came to this country when. What is some of the policies in California, given you've spent a lot of time there, that makes you think Gavin Newsom is Gavin Newsom? Is it the mass amount of illegal immigration and tax dollars being spent for legal and healthcare? Is it the failure to rebuild homes in the Palisades? Is it just pro-trans ideology and pushing that on kids in schools? What stands out the most to you?
And I'm glad you asked that because I want to make it clear. I personally don't have an issue with the trans part of the LGBT at all. I am the biggest advocate for adults being able to do whatever the heck they want to do. They're adults. I don't care. I only mentioned something because when it comes to children, I wouldn't even allow my 17-year-old daughter to get breast implants. Neither, like, and most 99% of the parents would not let their 17-year-old child get breast implants. So if you wouldn't let a child get breast implants, you're not going to want them to have any kind of surgery because we all know the brain is not developed. And we've heard about 19 times more likely to commit suicide. What more do you need to know that
Why is that so? Why is that so crazy to say? Is that crazy to say? Hey, listen, I don't really care what adults do, but why y'all got to come after the kids? She said, listen, I don't really care about what no adult person is deciding to do with themselves. And if you want to be out here busting it down for a real one now, I mean, I could fundamentally disagree that I think that we need to have a more family-oriented, strong family structure, people that are good examples of how it is that we're supposed to be coming together as heterosexual individuals. We can fundamentally disagree with that. But the one thing that we do agree on is that you still have the right in this country, A, you got the right in this country to do what you want to do once you become an adult. And B, why are we allowing for and pushing for, especially in California, for children to be able to go over and to transform their bodies and become trans? That's not mind-blowing to me. That is logic. That is common sense. So I agree 100% with Nicki Minaj is saying. If you're an adult, you really got the right to do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting nobody else. Why are children at the forefront of y'all movement? Ain't that what we was discussing in the Epstein files? To protect the children?
Child is 19 times more likely to commit suicide if they have a surgery before they're an adult. So I just wanted to make that clear because, you know, of course, I don't judge, you know, adults with, you know, they can do whatever they want. With Newsom, it's the fact that with everything you said, but then having the audacity to be playing on Twitter, obsessed with Trump, trying to be Trump, trying to be funny when it's not, and then wanting to roll around in the mud with female rappers or whomever and completely missing the plot. That's the thing. You are competing with President Trump, but President Trump is already the president. Get it? He's already done it twice. He's won. Good. Okay. Meanwhile, you are embarking on what a journey that will end up being a big, huge failure.
I agree with that also. I think a lot of what you're seeing from Gavin Newsom today is very performative, and a lot of people are trying to do the same thing that Trump did. People are trying to become this polarizing figure when they came into the game as traditional politicians, and they think they can sell it the same way that Trump is selling it, and it just does not work. It's not the same. We don't look at Gavin Newsom and say, oh man, yeah, we got to heed this, or he's serious, or he's a great promoter, or he say what he really wants to. Trump is trying to become the Democrat, or Gavin Newsom is trying to become the Democrat version of Trump. Gavin Newsom is trying to become the Democrat version of Trump. And we're not going for it. No matter what, we look at California today and say, well, at least I do. I look at California and I say, ain't no way in the world we should hand the nuclear codes to Gavin Newsom. No way in hell we should hand him the keys to the entire country, and he couldn't even get California together. No way. I think that he the worst possible politician.
But for him, but still don't seem to grasp the fact that these jokes that you're making are only funny to your assistant. You know, the weirdo little guy that calls black women stupid hoes and stuff. You see, but that's the whole thing. No one cares. And he's making a fool out of himself, like when he went all the way to another country to speak ill of the country and the president.
We had this argument on Room 9, and I said that was treason. I know that it was a lot of people that was on the platform that actually disagreed with me, but I said that it was treason. Gavin Newsom actually talking to European leaders on camera at the World Economic Forum and saying that they need to stand up to Trump and that they groveling and they bowing and all of this stuff. I still believe it. I went and rewatched it, and I think that it's treason. I 100% think that Gavin Newsom committed treason and speaking ill about Trump and our country and trying to get them to be able to take advantage of us. It's treason, Eric D. It's 100% treason. If me and my brother is fighting, that don't mean that you can say nothing about him. And I'm definitely not going to give you the keys to try to defeat him and tear up our household.
We would never want someone like that to be our president. Americans,
if this is the Koreas, he would be offed immediately.
Are so big on loyalty.
This was China, he would be in a camp. They will redo his mind at the camp with hard labor. If this was Russia, they would have blew this nigga up.
Showed us all you do not have a loyal bone in your body, and no one is going to vote for you. But so it was a little bit, so it was that, but it was that I don't think people realize, and you guys, but I publicly asked for his help a couple times on Twitter about swatting calls that were happening that were clearly a part of their extended smear campaign. And he completely ignored it, right? And next thing you know, he's on there flapping his gums about female rap stuff and trying to get in women's business. So I had to.
I mean, like how
Amount
all of the
of illegal
rest,
immigration,
how
toxic.
all the rest of
Part
these,
of
how all of the rest of these male YouTubers are gossip queens, act just like women. That's why I said ain't no point in me going over and kicking it with no other male. You know what I'm saying? Doing no male. I might as well go on. I might as well go and kick it with Tasha K or something like that. I might as well go on a female platform and kick it with them. Cause it's too hard to have a conversation with these sassy men, man. It's too hard having a conversation with these gossip girls.
their extended smear campaign. And he completely ignored it, right? And next thing you know, he's on there flapping his gums about female rap stuff and trying to get in women's business. So I had to show him who's boss on Twitter.
As an immigrant, what are your thoughts on the Trump administration's approach to illegal immigration and deportations?
Well, if I had a business or a home or anything, and someone was there one day when I walked downstairs to cook
Facts.
breakfast or something, I would have them kicked out of my home
Yep.
because I didn't
100%.
invite them. And this is my private home.
Facts.
So the president has to treat the United States as if it's his private home. People all around the world have to respect the policies of the country and the administration. Therefore, to my immigrants, who I love very much, I love my immigrants, I'm an immigrant. But how can you tell a president not to enforce a law that simply says you have to be legal to get in the country? Now, what people don't understand is there are spies. There are things that we don't know about, but that the administration and that security knows about. People who have to secure the country. So a person coming in illegally to the country, they could be there to do anything. You do not know. They have to be vetted. There's nothing wrong with that. It would be.
This is very basic knowledge and very basic information that everybody should embrace. Like this should not be something that is radical. Nobody should be calling anybody radical for saying, hey, listen, if you come into this country, you need to be here legally.
It would be so stupid of any country to have an open door policy where people are not vetted. You don't imagine having somebody that you do not know in your home and you don't know anything about them. We do background checks for everything. You don't think there needs to be a background check to get in the country?
Listen, we do background checks for as simple as trying to get a specific job.
So, I don't know. That may have come off too harsh, but
I think it was a good explanation. You could have been harder.
Okay.
How has illegal immigration impacted the Black community specifically?
Well, African Americans have finally decided, find somebody else to do it. That's why they're not protesting.
Well, most of us, a lot of us, I'm not even gonna say most of us. A lot of us are starting to figure it out. Man, listen, I'm starting to see a movement of people. And this is why we got to stand 10 toes down and we have to just continue to hit them with information, hit them with information, hit them with information, hit them with information. I'm starting to see a lot of people that are switching over and they waking up and we're becoming the silent majority again. And they saying, wait a minute, bro, listen, you've been saying too much stuff and I had to do my own research and I had to better understand some things and so on and so forth. You're right. Why am I out here? To the people that say, that they're a direct descendant from a slave in the United States of America. Let me ask you a question, because a lot of y'all are Democrats, a lot of y'all are liberal. Why would you want somebody else over here that's not from here and they're here illegally, taking up money from the federal government and from your local government and your tax dollars and benefiting? It's a very, very basic question.
Okay, they finally decided that they are not going to be anyone's pawn in these political games anymore, in this political theater, the political theatrics. They're not going to be bothered. They're going to be at work or at home or, creating. And that's that. And I'm very happy because where's the money? Where are the billions of dollars that were stolen? Okay? Because guess what? The people who work hard and pay taxes, they have a right to know.
She's right.
There's no more distracting people. Everyone is smarter than that. And I think that's where African Americans stand right now, is that they're not going to keep on speaking for people who every time they get in office, they completely forget about them, and they just use them, every 4 years. Find somebody else to do it.
I've been saying this for the longest, and maybe it'll resonate with people now that Nikki is echoing the same thing.
You called for Don Lemon's arrest. You called for Don Lemon's arrest over his church stunt in Minneapolis. He's since called you racist, unhinged, homophobic, and out of your depth. Anything you'd like to say to Don Lemon?
Cocksucker, stop.
She said it's okay to call Don Lemon names, though. I'm going to make an exception for you. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. TS Car Wash and Detail Service. See your car? I've been making great time today. That's because I got this. Got to take care of some business. You think Chris Brown would ever do a Super Bowl? I think Chris Brown would absolutely do a Super Bowl if they asked him. Kwesi says, liberals say Americans won't work agriculture. They just want cheap food. They don't think keeping illegal immigrants to keep food prices down is not terrible and not pay Americans to do the work. Wesley Turner says, Gavin is the Fredo of America. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. Mythology Noir says, single-parent homes, abortion, trans for kids, feminist hate groups, prolonging childbearing for professional goals. Clearly, liberals are doing it for the women's health and not the population control. Cam Conversation says, Trump wouldn't be here. His grandpop was illegal. I don't know what you're talking about. Mythology Noir says, Hollywood celebrities who live in gated communities with security on a hill wants us to leave our borders open and live amongst the unvetted, the hypocrisy of it all. 392Q says, people got the top-notch security in their homes but advocated for open borders. Nikki is 1,000% correct. I can see you interviewing Nicki Minaj if you reached out to her team about it. Maybe. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. One more thing that I wanted to have a conversation with y'all about. Disney CEO. Disney got a new CEO, or is naming a new CEO. Yeah. So we gotta get to the money, y'all. We gotta get to the money. Disney is naming a new CEO. Of course, this is not being talked about in the community because we don't talk about anything, but we're gonna be talking about it on Stock Club. I will be giving y'all my professional, personal perspective and opinion on if this is going to move the needle any and if you should invest in Disney's stock. I am in the process of deep diving and vetting this new CEO, but check it out.
News tonight involving our parent company, Disney. The new CEO has been chosen by the Disney board. Josh D'Amaro will succeed Bob Iger on March 18th after Bob's nearly 20 years as CEO. Tonight, our interview here with Bob Iger and Josh D'Amaro on artificial intelligence, the new Disney theme park, streaming Disney+, and about Walt Disney's original dream of bringing joy and connection to American life. Gentlemen, thank you for doing this, for sitting down with me. I guess I have to say congratulations to you both.
That would be appropriate.
Yeah, an incredible tenure and a new chapter begins. I was thinking about people watching at home and thought I would ask about them first, because I think everybody has, a Disney childhood memory, a favorite Disney movie, a favorite Disney character through the years, a trip to Disney World or Disneyland. But people at home also see how quickly things are changing. Technology, society, people with their phones, the competition for our attention. And I'm curious, Bob, what you think the next CEO has to do and soon to make sure that these childhood Disney memories are still a part of American life for years going forward.
Well, I think you touch upon something that is critical in terms of what the next CEO appreciates and what the next CEO is capable of doing. And that is truly, truly appreciating Disney's position in the world and to people. Disney's not just another company. Disney really is a cultural institution that has touched hundreds of millions of people for now over 100 years. And having that appreciation, knowing the place Disney occupies in people's lives, I think is essential to anyone occupying this position in terms of their ability to move the company forward, that careful balance between legacy and innovation.
Bob Iger, who is stepping down for a second time, actually came back to replace the other Bob that they allowed to run Disney prior to the pandemic. And the profits were sinking so low that they gave this guy an offer that he couldn't refuse in order to come back to be CEO to try to right the ship after all of this time. And after a couple years, I think he had only been in a role for like a year or two before they ousted him, and he was homegrown from within the company. And then ultimately they brought Bob Iger back in order to run the company and steer the ship for a few more years. He came in and got some more bags and some more money, and now he's handing it over. But I think that Disney has been a cultural icon up to this point. I understand the history of Disney. I understand the first theme park that was developed over in Anaheim, California, and he transformed the theme park world. I also understand it from a business perspective. Disney took on a lot of debt in order to buy a huge library of content before they launched Disney Plus. And then that's when they spun off Fox Sports, because they didn't want to be a monopoly and they couldn't own both Fox Sports and ESPN at the same time. But Disney is stuck between a rock and a hard place. And again, I'm not going to go into it too much, but they definitely have a lot of debt. I think that they've been failing a lot when it comes to the content in the movies. Disney Plus has not been hitting the way that it's supposed to. ESPN is starting to lose their footing. All of these subscriptions and their partnership with Hulu is also placing a role or taking a role. The theme parks have become too expensive. And then last but not least, Disney has become too woke. Even when it comes to their movies, in my opinion, that whole Captain Marvel bullshit, the Marvels and all of this stuff, that shit was trash. Nobody wanted to see that. And they should have just continued to go down the Deadpool path or I just think that Disney they got too many irons in the fire. And, along with them being woke and getting into a war with Florida, I think that it's playing a role and it's taking its toll. But they have been able to sustain, but it's a low margin business, if you ask me.
Is that the challenge, Josh, for you, that balance?
Well, I think I've been at the company now for 27 years. I've had the great benefit and the great honor of working with Bob for all of those years, first from a distance and now much more up close and personal. And I've watched probably the best of the best balance those two things. As Bob talks about being close to the fans and the guests, this is something that's important to me. I spend a lot of time in our beloved parks that hundreds of millions of people enjoy every year. And I see firsthand the importance of the brand, what Disney means to them, what it means to these families. And when you feel that and you understand the legacy of this place and the fact that you need to keep pushing forward and being innovative, I think I'm ready for that challenge, but I've learned from the best of the best.
Let me tell you what else I've noticed. He looks pretty funny in this picture. I remember when I went to Disney in Tokyo. Disney in Tokyo is the culture is completely different over in Tokyo than it is over here inside of the United States of America. You know how we like Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and Star Wars and all of that stuff over here? Over in Tokyo and Japan, they like Winnie the Pooh. They like Mickey Mouse. They love the Disney princess. They like all of that stuff, bro. They like the theme park it's a lot smaller. It's a lot easier to get around. You can see everything in the same day. The characters that they put and that they highlight over in their culture because of what they love over there is they like Hello Kitty is way different than what we push over here inside of the United States of America. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. The things that they love in other cultures in Disney World or Disneyland over in Tokyo, like one of the big attractions is the big castle and walking through the castle. And oh my God. And the food is more affordable. I'm not sure if this is profitable, but the food is more affordable and they care more about culture there than they care. And they're not about wokeness over there in Japan at all.
I think I'm ready for that challenge, but I've learned from the best of the best.
You know, we sit here in the theater that Walt Disney originally built, and we're all familiar with what Walt did. This new documentary, Handcrafted, really shows just the incredible risk-taking that Walt went through. He leveraged everything. He leveraged his home to build.
He was there for
Disneyland
3
in a
weeks.
year. You're sitting next to a man who's led this company for nearly 20 years. With significant risk-taking, billions of dollars in acquisitions for Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilms, 21st Century Fox. And as you sit here, the new CEO, I'm curious what your appetite is for risk-taking and how do you meet the moment?
First, you're reminding me that I'm sitting next to Bob Iger, one of the best CEOs of all time. It's a bit intimidating.
We know each other well, Josh.
We do know each other.
I need y'all to pay attention. When I do these or when I'm looking at these interviews and when I'm looking at the commentary, it's similar to the masterclass that Trump gave when he was promoting. People promote you and do things because they like you, not necessarily just because you're the best person for the job. Now, I haven't vetted this person's credentials to understand his background and why they decided to promote him to CEO. But every single thing that he does, he gives credence, credit, accolade to the boss. He spent more time giving credit. And a lot of people, see, we so stuck on ourselves. We don't believe in that. Oh, man, I ain't sucking up to nobody. I'm a man first. You broke first. You broke first. And so the first thing that he did right after the question, I don't even remember the question. He was highlighting and giving so much praise over to Bob Iger.
Appetite is for risk-taking and how do you meet the moment?
First, you're reminding me that I'm sitting next to Bob Iger, one of the best CEOs of all time. It's a bit intimidating.
We know each other well, Josh.
We know each other well.
Masterclass. It's the things that they don't say that they do that you got to pay attention to. It's a masterclass.
But Bob's a big risk taker. I'm a big risk taker, and that's been true my whole life with how I've approached growing as an individual to how I've approached the business world. And I think you see that on full display today. I mean, just several months ago, we announced a massive expansion in a new part of the world in Abu Dhabi. We did that quickly. We did it ambitiously, and we knew there was a new part of the world to serve.
And this is the first new theme park in 15 years for Disney. What's the challenge in building the first in the Middle East and in a place where you don't control everything?
Bob has, for quite a long time, thought about the million.
Every single question that he is asked, the first thing he do is he gives credit, praise, and then he starts to speak about what his boss or what Bob Iger has done in order to then leapfrog into whatever question that he has to go into. Every single question.
in 15 years for Disney. What's the challenge in building the first in the Middle East and in a place where you don't control everything?
Bob has, for quite a long time, thought about the Middle East as a place that we'd like to grow. And when he came back, we had an opportunity to sit down and say, let's go for this. Can we find the right partner? Is this the right part of the world? And we quickly determined, yes. We have a great partner that we're working with, and this part of the world represents
Smart. This
a
guy's smart as
population
hell.
that is young, that is
I need to learn from this type of
huge.
stuff.
In fact, within a 4-hour flight radius of Abu Dhabi, a third of the world's population is there.
I saw that image of you, Bob, that you posted.
Yes, walking on the property that will one day be Disneyland. When Josh and I first visited, we stood on that same property, and you look at the water and you look at the sand, you look at the place that you're in, and you dream big, big ambition, and you think, well, we can do this.
Let me ask about another bet. Disney recently made news for this $1 billion bet in OpenAI, artificial intelligence. People at home certainly know about artificial intelligence, the risks, the rewards. It's made some folks
literally dress
uneasy
the
about
same,
where
too.
we're headed. It's going to allow
Even the host is
people who
dressed
are on
just like
social
them.
media create their own videos with Disney characters from Star Wars, what have you, from Elsa to Mickey Mouse. I'm just curious, Bob, how you go about stepping in that direction while at the same time protecting the Disney character, protecting the humans behind the character who created it, the actors, while also embracing where we're all headed.
I'm glad you raised that, because one of the reasons Josh was chosen for this position is I've observed him over the years that we've worked together as someone that views technology as an opportunity and not a threat.
And the human beings that are
stand in the way of technology. The years was chosen. It happens.
As in this
being has ever been able to stand in the way of technological advance. It happens.
The reason this company is so special is because of how creative we are and the human beings that are generating that creativity. In my mind, that never gets replaced. And in fact, this isn't even theory anymore. This is real. Like AI, to Bob's point, is here. And
Always gives credit. Always gives credit.
it's something that we're embracing, and you're seeing it supercharge these creatives in amazing ways. And they've embraced artificial intelligence. If you were to walk over to their studios today and see them using AI, harnessing 70 years of history, this is when the Walt Disney Company thrives, when technology intersects with brilliant people and creativity. And we're in that moment right now.
Let me ask you about the streaming wars and about the impact of Dana. Josh from Dana.
Incredibly powerful in this space. She's exceptionally creative. Push us into this next frontier.
Your contract,
he's through the end of.
I'm going to do some research. We're going to talk about him a little bit more inside of Stock Club, so I'll add that to the docket. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We had a pretty good time. Bro, you be ducking the real, I've noticed. No, KM Conversations, listen. I appreciate you. I thank you for supporting the platform. I always try to make sure that I acknowledge everybody that contributes into the platform. But sometimes you and other people say stuff that is stupid and wild, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, since you said it. Y'all say stuff that's stupid and wild. And if I'm going to spend my derailment time, because I literally have time that I allocate for, that I buffer the show with, because I can go through 7-8 subjects in 2 hours, right? But I spend time making sure that I address the chat, that I talk with the chat, that I give a monologue, that I interact with people, and I talk back and forth on a regular basis. And the reason that I do that is because I think that it adds value into the show and that the people appreciate that I appreciate them. They become a part of the show. But sometimes, respectfully, y'all say some dumb shit, and I'm assuming that you want me to just speak on it just for the sake of speaking on it. It may be meaningful to you. It may be awesome to you. It may be deep to you. But for me, it's just foolish, it's fodder, it's surface level. And I can't spend all of my derailment time talking about bullshit that all of us as adults past the age of 25, 26 years old should be able to know and understand. And if you want me to spend my time on meaningless bullshit, then just say that. But I don't feel the need to have to justify everything that everybody says. Sometimes I'll just read the super chat and I'll go to the next thing. I can't speak on everything, especially if it's not something meaningful to the conversation or meaningful to me. I'm not always impressed by everything that everybody says just because they said it. But I do. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate the contribution that you make to the show. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I think that was a great show. Y'all crazy. Bro, how come you didn't pay attention to me? Y'all so funny. Anyways, yeah, man. Yeah. I do. I appreciate the chat. I appreciate everybody that's here. And I ask you guys, if and only if you're looking to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, and you're trying to get your money up, possibly come to a meetup, trying to understand stocks, real estate, content creation, any of that, and you want to rock out with us, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. The best time to join the Patreon is now, the beginning of the month. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all on the other side. Peace.